This has been very clear. So that's it. And I would ask actually you respect me.
The time has come. Welcome back to Moose and Loose. My name's David. Today we're on the verge of WW3 with America lining up all their toys along the coast of Iran. And with that, we've got a liberal getting challenged on their position regarding helping America in Iran. It doesn't go well. Carney's liberal gets absolutely humiliated, resorts to threats. Let's jump into this. Starting this episode off, we got this one from Table Salt Breaking Exclusive. Comparison here, GDP of Canada to Mississippi. Yeah, just barely above Mississippi. All that talk of Canada being worse than Alabama. I mean, this is just getting embarrassing here. And while we're talking about American news, we got Mark Nixon posting this update here from Trump. He has changed the 10% worldwide tariffs on all countries to 15% because, well, he can do that. Never a dull day with Donald Trump around. Now we're going to move over into the WW3 section of this because we've got a lot of updates here, a lot of stuff going on. I'm going to say this straight out of the gate. This isn't verified. Some of this stuff is. Some of it is intel coming from someone, so just take it as it is. But this is what we got being posted all over the place. We have tons of planes and ships, you name it, moving over to Iran. We've got a chart here that shows this. 40 to 50% of deployable U.S. air power in the world is over there right now. We're heading there right now. Think air power on the order of 1991 and 2003 Iraq conflict. And growing. Never has the U.S. deployed so much force against a potential enemy and not launched strikes. So this is blowing up as we speak right now. They're still gathering, as you'll see here, but I mean, look what we've got here. The USS Abraham Lincoln, USS Gerald Ford, 2 aircraft carriers, and a whole bunch of destroyers here to basically protect them. We've got anti-air deployment here, tons and tons and tons of jets. Might as well take a look at some of those here. We've got the B-2 bombers are put in the air. So stealth bombers on the way, you know it's go time. We also have a bunch of other planes on the way. Look at this, F-16s. We've got nuclear submarines. It says the United States has 70 of them. They don't know the exact locations, but there are some of them over there right now, probably more than we know. And we're going to turn that music off, yep. And we've got this from Bricks News, says Justin Iran says its response will be broad and unlimited if the US or Israel start a conflict. Yeah, they're scared. Like, let's just call this as is. They're terrified of what's happening because they're amassing just a massive amount of toys on their border. Got this one here saying Israel just wiped out Hezbollah's entire missile command structure in one night. 8 senior Hezbollah commanders gone. The entire missile array leadership eliminated. The timing, Trump's 24 to 48 hour Iran deadline is ticking. US planes staging in Portugal, 2 carrier groups positioned, students in Tehran chanting for regime change. Now Israel just eliminated the command staff of Iran's most powerful proxy force. A lot of stuff happening here. Here we've got a graphic showing this. We've got NATO countries including UAE, Jordan, and the UK. Bahrain, Germany, France, and Canada will engage Iran to pressure Iranian government to surrender or abandon its nuclear ambitions. This says Canada, but I have another clip that basically contradicts that. This person's saying Canada with what, paper airplanes? I mean, yeah, exactly. What are we really sending there? Yeah, they're basically positioning these all around, and then, I mean, this is going to be game over. This is going to be messy, though, because if Iran sends out some of their toys, you know, what happens here? Are we going to get some serious fallout? I don't know. Send in the bombers. They'll send in the F-35s. They're bringing in a bunch of planes that can refuel all the other jets mid-air so they can just stay up there perpetually, just keep refueling and keep unloading, doing what it's doing here. Moving some tanks. As we've got here, breaking, retired U.S. Navy Captain James Fennell says Washington is prepared to establish full air dominance if ordered, would destroy 100% of Iran's military. Now, for the first minute and a half here, he just talks about air superiority, complete control over the air, but then he talks about air supremacy, which then you control the air for a long period of time. And that's when you have these big refueling planes. They have numerous, I think they have 100 of them flying over there right now, just filled with fuel that fly around and refuel these jets mid-air.
And so it seems to me that we are moving in and preparing our forces for air supremacy. And I would just say to Mr. Haas, who talked about managing, if we do a strike, we'll have to manage some kind of a deal with the Iranians. No, we're not going to manage anything. We're going to come in, and if President Trump decides to use military force, we will destroy Iran's military, 100% of it. We will take down their SRBMs, or medium-range ballistic missiles, and their naval forces and their remaining little air forces that they have and their air defense forces. And we will sit over the top of Iran and call fires down on anybody that tries to shoot off an air defense missile or a ballistic missile. They may get off one or two here and there, but they're not going to be able to sustain any kind of campaign against our allies in the region and against our forces. And this is what's coming to them.
So the risk with this is we find out if Iran really does have the nuclear pow-pows. Well, if it can wipe out 100%, then okay. But if they do less than 100%, then prepare to get hurt bad. That's just it. If there's some hidden facilities or something, this could get very messy very quickly. Here's that clip I was talking about. We've got Daniel Boardman here asking a question to Liberal MP Rob Oliphant whether Canada is getting involved. And well, I don't think they prepared any paper planes for this event.
Hi, thank you for coming. So you stated that you support not regime change, but the regime going away, or regime leaving is sort of your plan. Predicated on the fact that it's highly unlikely that Khomeini just decides to pick up, walk away, cut his losses, and then just stop oppressing the people. The logic is the regime would need to be changed in order for the regime to be changed. So directly, would you support one of our allies, specifically America and or Israel, doing a strike targeted at the regime expressly to help the people of Iran? Would you support such an action from one of our military allies? And side note, Canadian military values are about fighting for peace and liberty.
Great question.
Our Minister Anand has been very clear that we do not support an American strike. Very clear. And
yeah, that's because the Liberal Party supports the terror lords and their activities. I mean, they're hosting a lot of these leaders in our own country, giving them safe passage to live here. So of course they don't support that. They're a bunch of cowards.
that is the Canadian position. We do not believe in non-UN sanctioned military action. We don't do that. So the regime, we don't.
The UN is full of a bunch of weak, pathetic leaders, if you can call them that. These guys have no legs to stand on. They keep protecting these terror lords, Hezbollah terror lords in Canada, allowing them safe passage here to flee these countries, to live here in peace after all the terrible things they've done in their countries. It's deplorable. If people actually knew what these liberals were up to, I don't think Canadians would really vote for them. They just don't know. Maybe we should be printing out some of these newspaper article headlines like that and sticking those on bulletin boards at the grocery store. Stuff like that too. Just everything and anything that gets people to wake up. This is not even the article I was looking for, but border agency investigating dozens of cases of potential Iranian officials allowed into Canada. Liberals making it easy for these guys to just slip right in here.
We support the regime. We've not supported the regime ever. But it doesn't mean we're going to get into military action.
But all UN military action has to be sanctioned by both Russia and China. So if our position is we can't do anything unless Russia and China agree to it, that's a nonsensical, pro-authoritarian position by default.
We can talk about UN reform. I'm happy because I just came from 3 days at the UN last week.
Yeah, Daniel Boardman got him there mentioning Russia and China, and he didn't want to answer to it. This guy's just another rat, just like all the rest.
The UN needs reform. Absolutely. But also we're in a position in the world where
this guy, he's got nothing. He's just sitting there looking into space, just gets completely humiliated.
as hard as it is, diplomacy and discussion is always important to be done in a way that actually is not hurting anyone. So
somebody just told this guy who's filming to stop recording. They know this liberal's getting humiliated at this town hall.
we do not support.
He is alone now. It's my right.
And Minister Nam has been
You hear that? Like, oh, stop recording. No, it's my right.
very clear.
Sorry?
It's my right. It's a public place. It's a public, yes.
But Mr. Oliphant said, please don't film faces. And you turned around and filmed his face.
His phone is in my hand.
As I said earlier, people have asked that we not film this, so I'd ask you to.
Why? Because you're getting humiliated? Come on.
You can film me, but I'd ask you not to film. If
Okay.
you want to have a discussion with me in my office,
It's
you
a
can
public
film
town
me.
hall. It's a public town hall.
No, this is actually, you have to register to be here. It's a
Okay,
little
we
different than
register that, and feeling of the people doesn't define my right. And I am trying just to take a video of you and my friend that asked the question. That's it.
Well, I'm very happy to repeat.
Thank you so
Mr.
much.
Anand has been very clear that we do not support a military.
This is wild. This guy, they're trying to get them to stop filming. Well, that tells you everything. If they don't want this filmed, you know full well they don't want these statements really out there.
Strike. This has been very clear. So that's it. And I would ask actually you respect me. I would actually ask that you respect a member of parliament in your tone, or else you won't be in the room for very long.
I respect you.
This guy just threatened to kick him out. He's the member of parliament. Respect me or else. This is wild. His comment here is hilarious. The decision flowchart. Should we help? Yes. If the U.S. is helping, then no. Oppose. No issue statement. Does Russia approve? No. Wait. Yes. Double check with China. No. Wait. Yes. Further study. Canadian leadership equals decisively undecided. This is the ugly face of the liberal media suppression. What horrid times Dan having to attend liberal town halls and trying to drive sense into liberal boneheads. So our national security strategy is determined by the UN now, I guess. Yeah, that's basically what he said there. It'll up to the UN. We're not going to decide anything. We don't know where we want to send our paper airplanes to. Wow, this member acts extremely entitled, behaving like an authoritarian government entity. Don't film and respect me or face consequences. No wonder they don't support the US helping Iranians free Iran. They're probably in bed with the Islamic regime. Yeah, probably. There's a reason why there was chants of D-word to Canada on the steps of Vancouver City Library, and that went unpunished. And that crap has been going through our streets for 2 years now, chanting and all that nonsense. Typical liberal cowardice when faced with real-world questions. Canada is on a dangerous path. Wow, his disgusting smirking comment that he must be respected, or the cameraman, who was respectful but firm, must be removed. That's insane. An MP answering to the public in public can so easily make a threat like that. Yeah, I mean, that was it. He was making threats to throw him out. For what, filming him? He's paid by the public. We also got this one here. U.S. force buildup around Iran is much bigger than most realize. Midnight Hammer was a quick 2-hour strike. Stealth bombers, deep penetration bombs, and cruise missiles. Now the setup is different. The USS Abraham is already in position with F-35s there. We've got USS Gerald Ford heading from the Caribbean to the Mediterranean. That's 2 full aircraft carrier groups, missile-loaded destroyers, submarines packed with cruise missiles in the area. The real plan, ongoing airstrikes supported by specialized F-16S to take out enemy air defenses, F-22 stealth fighters for air control, F-15E squadrons adding firepower. Fuel routes are adjusted, refueling planes are relocated, supplies are moving, missile defense systems are shifting, and support ops are ramping up past a single night hit. If it escalates, targets expand from nuclear facilities to air defenses, command centers, and key infrastructure. Diplomacy may still happen, but the forces already in place. This is definitely something else than we're seeing really, Venezuela or anything else. We've got F-22 Raptors. These are the best stealth planes the Americans have. These will be the planes that go deep into Iran and take out all their missile defense systems or anything that will pose the biggest threat to all their fighter jets. So when these start moving, then you know that boom time is about to happen here. So right now, these have just been moved from Virginia in America over to RAF Lockheath in Suffolk, England. And it says they've been delayed here for a day, so they'll be arriving on Monday. And so that's why Monday is the day, Monday or Tuesday. We see this one here. Sputnik reports that Iran has scattered its top leadership and ordered forces to continue fight even if communications are cut. Of course, the leadership is going to run away, just a bunch of losers, and let all the military perish for them. Leadership bailing. Yeah, that's what's happening. Escalation is real concern here. What's the likelihood of diplomatic channels resolving tensions, or is this headed for military confrontation? We've got the USS Gerald Ford here, moving its way into position from the Middle East. And you see it just loaded with planes here. We've got this, a CIA whistleblower, John Kirkakuru. A White House source told him that President Trump has decided to engage Iran on Monday or Tuesday. And we've got people making fun of it here. The plan, tell our enemies exactly when we're going to attack. It's no mystery. They can see what's happening, all these different toys coming into position. Obviously, they'd like to negotiate this out, but I don't think Iran is going to do that. And while the UK was pushing back against Trump and having a lot of their aircraft positioned there, it seems the F-22s are there. We do have Greece saying yes. So we've got a bunch of American planes positioned in Greece. As we see here, saying Greece is a liable friend and ally to the U.S.
He should certainly consider stripping the Islamic Republic of Iran of all its offensive capabilities and perhaps its defensive capabilities as well, because it doesn't need defensive capabilities if it is not threatening other nations. There are no nations that are trying to take away its territory or do anything else to it. The problem with this regime is that since 1979, it has vowed, as a matter of policy, death to America and death to Israel, and threatens its other neighbors. So there's huge military forces, as you're showing, in the region. The president has a lot of options. I would think he would want to ramp up the pressure and make clear to Ali Khamenei, who may not understand this, he is not bluffing.
You can see the pow-pows here and the ranges on them, 1,242 miles from New York to Miami. That's crazy. Can target all U.S. bases in the Middle East and Israel. And this one, 745 miles, can target U.S. bases in Saudi Arabia, Oman, Turkey, Iraq, and Syria. And that other graphic there showed all these green dots here are bases. We've got U.S. ships are the yellow, and then military bases hosting aircraft, these ones. There's a lot of bases here, but basically those big missiles, they can hit any one of these. That's why the Americans have positioned all this stuff here to take all that down. We've got Israel's Channel 12 is reportedly claiming Iran's IRGC is massing troops with heavy gear at the Iraqi border. If true, it's likely targeting Israeli Mossad-style covert ops or special forces raiding, trying to infiltrate Iran. We have breaking U.S. officials say hundreds of military personnel at base in Qatar are set to be relocated amidst possible strike on Iran. According to ABC News, we have this one, U.S. President Donald Trump has canceled his trip to northern Italy, where he planned to attend the Winter Olympics. According to Italian newspaper, the president called off the visit. He had been scheduled to attend the Sunday ice hockey final between the United States and neighboring Canada. So, you know this is serious when he's canceling all this stuff. They're moving pieces into position there. We've got this one here saying Iran looks like it's sliding towards a civil war right now. New clips show the anti-regime protesters with no flags clashing with pro-regime crowds waving Islamic Republic flags. The streets are splitting fast. So this is the regime on this side here. Yeah, it's sliding into civil war here. I mean, look at this. And what's the result of all this? Well, I suspect the gas prices going up so sharply right now is all tied towards this. We have gas at 188 now in the lower mainland in Vancouver. It's a little bit less where I'm at, and obviously less mostly across everywhere else in Canada because, well, we get to enjoy the most expensive gas over here on the West Coast. We have this from Fox News saying there's currently 3 times as much military air power near Iran than when President Trump destroyed their nuclear sites in Operation Midnight Hammer.
Times the amount of air power assembled in the Middle East or heading there compared to Operation Midnight Hammer over the summer. And President Trump is considering unleashing it on Iran unless that country comes to an agreement with the United States.
They better negotiate a fair deal. They better negotiate. You know, the people of Iran are a lot different than the leaders of Iran. And it's very, very sad situation. But 32,000 people were killed over a relatively short period of time.
And right now, there are over 100 mid-air refueling planes either in the Middle East or Europe. That's double the amount used for the B-2 strike in June as a comparison. And 15 of those tankers are in the Azores right now, the Atlantic, which were used to refuel the B-2s en route to destroy Iran's nuclear sites over the summer. And the USS Gerald R. Ford carrier strike group passed through Gibraltar yesterday. She's still 3 to 4 days away from the Eastern Med and the Suez Canal. Her destroyers could help protect Israel if necessary. Now, a missing ingredient among the dozens of fighter jets on the ramp in Jordan right now, F-22s. The Raptors are in Britain right now and have not made their way to the Middle East. Over the summer, the F-22s showed up 4 days before Midnight Hammer. They're also used during the Maduro raid, flying from their base in Virginia. As far as talks go with Iran, the foreign minister made this claim about enrichment yesterday.
We have not offered any suspension.
That's it. So will they make a deal or will they get obliterated? That's the question. We've got this one here saying the U.S. and Israeli officials have confirmed the arrival of the USS Gerald Ford, which we see here. So yeah, a lot of toys, a lot of movement. Getting serious over there. And here's a plane tracker showing how many pieces are moving around right now. With all this going on, we have this one here breaking the Russian Ministry of Emergency Services aircraft have currently entered Iranian airspace. This could be final evacuation of the Russian officials and scientists. Who knows who's on that plane? Or evacuating top Iranian officials. That's what I was thinking. Are they getting out of there? They're just going to duck and run and leave everyone else to take the heat? I wouldn't be surprised. These rats are all the same.